The IEC will today give an update on a number of initiatives undertaken by the Chapter 9 institution, as well as the latest developments or preparations ahead of the 2026 local government elections. Watching that story is SABC News reporter Natasha Phiri, live to us now from Centurion. Ahead of this update expected, Natasha, in the next hour. You know, the IEC has said in the past that as soon as they wrap up one election, their eyes are firmly fixed on the next. And I suppose this is the case in point.
Definitely, Ayana, this is definitely a case in point. I mean, others may ask themselves, but why, is the IEC preparing so early, seeing and given that the fact that elections are expected to take place next year between November and February. But remember, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes before any election would take place. You've got voter registration weekends that are very important. And as of now, we know that the voters' roll, we've got over 27 million people who are actually registered to vote. I beg your pardon. You also have the printing out of ballot papers, the employment of staff, electoral staff, at voting stations, and there's just so much more that actually goes into that. But also at the heart of that, Ayanda, is the issue of voter education, where the IEC will embark on campaigns that we've seen in the previous months in the northwestern KZN, where there are voter activations that actually take place at universities, at various other, areas as well, to encourage South Africans to go out to vote. Because at the heart of this is that, yes, we hear South Africans before the elections take place that they will be voting, but unfortunately when the day comes, those numbers are actually not projected. So the IEC is expected, like you said there in your introduction, to just, outline those key initiatives that they actually put in place ahead of the local government elections. We've also seen, quite interestingly, Ayanda, in the past few weeks, those, by-elections that have been taking place. I remember vividly crossing to you about 2 weeks ago in Ward 82, I beg your pardon, in the city of Johannesburg, where you had 10 political parties that were vying for that ward, which is now under the Patriotic Alliance. They snatched that ward from the Democratic Alliance, and soon after, a week or so after, we were actually contacted by various political parties saying that, they want to lodge an objection with the IEC, saying that there are accusations of voter manipulation, I beg your pardon, at that ward, accusing the IEC of negligence, and also saying that other voters are actually bussed in from other areas to actually come and vote at the ward. So these are just some of the issues that we'll be, asking the IEC about. There's also that issue of Ward 110 in eThekwini, where the ANC and the DA have lodged an objection with the IEC. So these are just some of the issues that we'll be ventilating as members of the media. There's also another interesting issue. For those who don't know, months ago, we heard the Minister in the Presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, actually announcing that Cabinet had actually approved the establishment of an interministerial committee, Ayanda, that was tasked with overseeing the preparations for the electoral process. So this would be an interesting question to the IEC, to pose to them, as to know that how the Electoral Commission will actually be working with this interministerial committee. And of course, we know that this committee will be headed by the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, and that will be Mr. Velenkosini Hlabisa. So these are just some of the issues that we'll be, posing to the IEC. And of course, they'll be outlining their readiness to actually host next year's local government elections.